Hey everyone, I'm back. And crazy Final Four, crazy two games that just happened. Um, my predictions were right. UConn prevailed over Illinois. Michigan prevailed over Arizona in convincing fashion. And so I actually thought Illinois was the better team, but just UConn really had the edge in coaching and experience, and it really showed. They never, when Illinois, was trying to come back, and Illinois did come back. They got it to within 10. UConn didn't waver. They stayed poised. They stuck to their game. The Caravan led the way. Reed kind of got involved towards the end. Solo ball made big shots throughout the course of the game. And yeah, UConn just, the experience really showed. And for Illinois, it was just they couldn't get a stop when they needed to. And then when they did, they just couldn't convert the 2-for-1s on the other side of the court. So I think I think this was kind of an inevitable game, an inevitable result. But but you know, hats off to Illinois for getting this far. I didn't have them getting this far. I had them losing 2 games before. But yeah, Brad Underwood is a great coach. That Illinois team was very good. They just didn't have the kind of, it was really just the lack of experience that was their downfall. And so UConn, Dan Hurley's squad going up against Michigan, it will, you know, it's going to be a battle. And because on the other side of it, you have Michigan, who from the jump was just the better team, more physical. They showed more effort. I guess in the singular game, they were better coached. They had a better game plan, and they just tore Arizona apart. And for Arizona, it really was just they could not. It wasn't just Michigan's offense; it was their defense stifling and completely stopping Arizona's offense. Bradley couldn't get going, and Bradley was the Big 12 Player of the Year. So when he's not going, he's kind of the engine that drives Arizona. So when he's not getting started, it was tough. Just overall rough game from the start. And I said it before, I thought whoever won the Michigan Arizona game was going to win the national championship, and I'm going to stick with that. Because looking forward to the last game tonight between UConn and Michigan, I just think I know UConn has more experience, but Michigan also was coached by a guy, Dusty May, who has been to the Final Four before with a mid-major team in Florida Atlantic. And I will die on this hill, but I am convinced, I was and still am convinced that had Jerome Butler not made the game winning shot against FAU in the Final Four game in 2023, I am so certain that FAU was going to go on and beat UConn somehow. That's how well FAU was playing as a team. They had the size, they had the guard skills, they had the leadership of a guard, they had the size and defense of a big, and they had the athleticism of a wing. They had it all. They really did. And so I think because Dusty May was there before and he's climbed that mountain of getting to the national championship game, with this squad that he has, with the size, right? The defense with Mara, and then Mara offensively is a really athletic big. Um, with the Axel Lindenborg, I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name. He's very athletic. He's a great player. And then you have Elliot Cadeau, who is a guard, skillful, leader, can shoot the ball. I just don't see any holes in this Michigan team. I really don't. The only hole I could possibly think of is the same as Illinois, and that's just lack of experience. But I think because Dusty May has at least been to a Final Four, I think that's what's going to give him and overall Michigan the edge to win the national championship. And unlike any opponent UConn has faced yet, Michigan's the only team that athletically can hang with them. UConn has Reed, Michigan has Mara, UConn has Caravan, Michigan has Lindenborg, uh, UConn has Solo Ball, Michigan has Ellie Cadeau. So they both have their three biggest stars are a center, a forward, and a guard. The biggest questions now going into today or tonight is that Solo Ball's dealing with an injury and Lindenborg's dealing with an injury. So to be honest with you, I see I see Solo Balls have if both of these players don't play, I think it will affect UConn. I think Solo Ball potentially being out of the game is going to be more impactful and detrimental to UConn than if Lindenborg was out for Michigan. So again, I think Michigan's going to win. They scored 90 points in every single game of this tournament so far. They just no one has stopped them. They've played a Big 12 team. They've played two SEC teams, two Big 12 teams, two SEC teams, and then St. Louis in the second round. So I haven't played a Big East team yet, but I still think Michigan prevails. I'm gonna say Michigan 89, UConn 80. So that's my prediction. Michigan will win the national championship.